One team in the major leagues this year so far has already had over 14 players make their major league debut. Guess what? That's the team we're going to talk about. What's going on, everybody? Mauro Bazzario here from Buzz in the Box. We have our first ever organization outlook today, focusing on some young, exciting teams. As mentioned and as promised more than a couple of weeks ago, we have a nice little deep dive on some nice, exciting young players on the tied for first place Chicago White Sox. And we're also going to be mentioning at the end, stick with us, their top hitting and top pitching prospect, who's also going to be joining these guys, as I like to say, sooner than later. Let's get cracking right here. As it stands right now, just so you know, a bulk of these stats as are most very recent. I would say the bulk of them are as of June 23rd, so bear that in mind with some of these in case we hit a couple of foul balls. White Sox currently 41-38, tied with Cleveland for first in the AL Central. Once again, they're both 4.5 games in front of the Minnesota Twins. They're actually 7th in the American League in runs scored, which not too high, but then again, probably higher than most, I would say most people would guess. They're also the only team in their major leagues right now in first place with a negative run differential. You don't see that too often, so a lot of credit to them for fighting back, because they've given up some leads late in games, but they've also won a bunch of games late as well. They have a off day today, actually, so a perfect day to talk about them as they're taking a break. The stats will be as up to date as possible for you. They do have a home series with the Royals coming up next, starting Friday, which is tomorrow, and then after that, they will be at Baltimore and then at Cleveland. That's going to be a pretty fun series now, I think, as we get into our White Sox deep dive. Mostly, as I said, mostly as of 6:23. We're going to start with first baseman / DH Munetaka Murakami, who before he went down with injury, I think he's been out since May 29th, was a legitimate, more than legitimate Rookie of the Year candidate. I think that's pretty consensus. He was right as he went down, he was slashing 240, 378, and slugging 560. That was in 57 games. He had 20 home runs in the 57 games. You got to figure. I mean, the rate he was going at one point, it's not crazy to say he has at least 28, somewhere in the realm of the neighborhood of 26 to maybe like just shy of 30 home runs right now. He can get that streaky with his home runs in a good way. One thing I can't believe is he only has 4 doubles. You don't see a guy slugging 560 with 20 home runs, basically almost at least a home run every 3 games and 4 doubles. That's like an all or nothing type of swing right there. He doesn't have too much in the way of speed, but for fantasy purposes, it would be nice to get a few more doubles from him with that all or nothing type of swing. He does have 80. He did have, as they're waiting his return, 80 strikeouts in those 57 games. That's quite a lot. As a matter of fact, people were saying, myself included, I'll confess that he was very well, I would say, greater than 80% chance to break Mark Reynolds' single season strikeout record for a single season for a hitter, that is, after Mark Reynolds struck out 223 times in 2009. Wow. Great player, though. Love Mark Reynolds. Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, but I think I'm missing one. Was it the Angels? Let me know if I hit a foul ball on that down in the comments down below. Always appreciate that. Murakami slashing 240, 378, 560. He's been out since May 29th. Even with that, on the flip side, being out for that long, he's actually still second on the team in walks with 40. So 40 walks. I mean, take the good with the bad. I think Miguel Vargas is first on the White Sox with 45 walks. Another good player. Moving on now, after Murakami Tsunami, we have Colson Montgomery. Pay close attention, just because there's going to be 2 Montgomerys and there's going to be 2 Smiths later too. Those are pitchers. So 2 Montgomery hitters, 2 Smith pitchers. Don't think they're all brothers. Colson Montgomery, he's a shortstop, 24 years old, slashing 219, 312, 485, 20 home runs. So 20 home runs between him and Murakami, who's been out for a while, shows you how much power these guys are getting together. 31% strikeout rate for Colson Montgomery. That's tough. It's up from 29% last year, so it was already a little higher than I would say than league average. Well, it is it was higher than league average. I would say that's concerning, but for it to creep up another couple of percent, we really can't. He really can't afford to see it go much higher than that. 29% last year. He's still under 162 games played, so we won't label that his identity per se just yet. But on a positive note of that, he could very well be. I mean, 20 home runs already. It's possible he could have 40 home runs and 90 RBIs if he keeps up this power. Will he have the 40 home runs? We'll see. But you're talking about definite 30 home runs and at least 85 RBIs from Colson Montgomery right now. He's 24 years old. What else you want from the kid? I think he's going to be great. But you do have to see that contact tick up quite a bit. Sam Antonacci next, left field, as we continue with our young, exciting players for the Chicago White Sox. He's just 23, an Illinois native, as a matter of fact. Who doesn't love a hometown kid making it big for the team? He's slashing 286, 386, 413. I mean, that's great. That's really good. Only a 15% K rate. Love that. 0.49 walk to strikeout rate this year. That tells us a lot. A lot of plate discipline so far. We've seen that, and we've seen that stick with guys as they age throughout their career, time and time again. Not 100% of the time, like everything, of course. But another little interesting note here that I like about Sam Ooch, as I'm calling him, this is kind of like adding like another wrinkle to his getting on base skills a little bit. He's reached base. He's gotten hit by pitch 16 times this year. That's a lot. 16 hit by pitch for Sam Antonacci. I feel like that's quite a bit for this point in the season. Just to show you exactly how much, so I'm not just blowing smoke here. He's only second to Ivan Herrera for most in the league, so I'm not just like, oh yeah, that's a lot. Only Ivan Herrera on the Cardinals. I think he has 22 as of this video for most in the majors. So Antonacci with the 16 hit by pitch. I mentioned the 286 average, 386 on base. He's stealing bases. He hustles a lot. I think he shows great hustle in the WBC. I'll get to that in a second. It's just good to see. He's not afraid of stepping into that box and taking one for the team. We got a good look at him a while back in the World Baseball Classic for Team Italy, if you remember as well. They actually beat some really good teams, as a matter of fact. They beat Mexico. They lost to Venezuela. That was a good game though, until Italy's pitching fell apart. And I think, did they beat DR? Italy might have beat DR in the WBC. It just slipped my mind that I'm usually obsessed with the WBC. I'm always waking up for those early games. But Sam Antonacci, I think an excellent contact profile. Hustle and great energy the entire time with the White Sox and with Team Italy. He just 23 years old. Can't forget this. He's got 11 stolen bases also. Reaching base quite a bit. Not striking out a lot. Like I said, just a 15% K rate, give or take. Combining with the bases, he's going to continue to steal, and what's becoming a pretty good offense. So he's going to be getting some base hits more often with guys on base, I think, and stealing those bases when he gets on base. He's going to be reaching base, and he's going to be stacking those total bases throughout the week for our points matchups, I think. I think he's going to continue to steal and stacking those points for your fantasy or dynasty team, especially in those points leagues, which we focus on mostly around here. Very nice things that we've seen from Sam Antonacci. You can always catch everything here. The next team you want to hear about on an organization outlook, we're probably not going to do everybody. Some teams, oh man, I know my team I don't want to do right now. But let us know down below in the comments, and let us know your favorite White Sox players or your favorite White Sox fantasy asset who's kind of been a bit of a surprise this year, or just your favorite young player, not just in the White Sox organization, but whoever you like in the league. let us know in the comments down below. We always like to hear from the home crowd. All right, Sam Antonacci, very nice. Moving on, Chase Mydroff here, who's been at second base playing with Samuch. A little bit of shortstop as well. I think he does some third base. He's eligible for second base and shortstop in Fantrax. That's huge. Trying to build like a nucleus infield. Not quite the contact profile just yet like Antonacci, although a bit different in his own way, but still very good and more than serviceable, even for a 15-team league, not just 20 or more, in my opinion. 24 years old, the second baseman this season, hitting .253 in 122 games in his first season. That was back last year. He was a rookie last year. This is his second season. I feel like batting .253 in 122 games, that's not too shabby. I also feel like it's worth noting he hit a home run on opening day this year, by the way. So if you had him plugged into your lineup after scooping him under the radar in a non-keeper draft or something like that, possibly signing him under people's nose on waivers when the draft is finished, that was great and promising moment. You probably jumped through the ceiling. I know I did this year. Slash line for him this year, 266, so he's already improved on the average a little bit. 331 on base, I'll take that. Slugging 377. He's not going to be a power hitter, although it would be nice if he can, once he's fully matured as a hitter and gotten some more another major league season or two under his belt, if he can get to like 18 home runs, 20 might be asking a lot right now, but if he can get to like 18-ish home runs with batting like somewhere around like 260 and getting his walks, this is still maybe not as exciting as Antonacci, but still a starter for a dynasty league and a deep league for sure. With the slugging percentage, that leaves a bit to be desired. Not that much power here at the moment. I wouldn't expect it to improve too much. If it does, it will, but not sure too much. The 323 X slug, respectfully, that's well below league average. So he definitely has some work to do there. As he kind of also needs to get the quality of contact up a little bit down the road. That wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't exactly call him an RBI machine so far, so nothing exactly super attractive that jumps off the page, but he's not going to hurt you, that's for sure. He's not going to go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts a lot. I can tell you that. But I think as the rest of this lineup kind of like matures and starts clicking together, I'm not really too worried. I think he'll get a little bit more RBIs. He has hit leadoff a good amount of games in all fairness, so we're not going to read too much into that. And we're all at the same time, we're not going to give you any fluff or promise you that every single person we talk about on this channel is going to be great. We're going to tell it like it is, and we're going to keep working hard for you. That's that much I can guarantee. But yeah, Chase Mydroff, 24 years old, second base and shortstop eligibility on Fantrax. I feel like that helps the value a lot. If you're building a middle infield, plug him in there. Not much in the power department, but if he can be more selective with the pitches that he swings at, I think he's going to be just fine in the contact department. He does have an OPS above 700, and I would feel confident having him in an everyday slot. And not, like I said, even a 15-team league. Just see him improve on that slugging would be a lot. He's been striking out a bit much recently, but that's not something I would say is a problem of his. It wasn't in the minors too much, and no really cause for alarm. Chase Mydroff, you can label him as, to me, solid. Let's keep an eye on that. Maybe being more unselective in the pitches he offers. Like I said, I don't know. He doesn't steal bases, but could you? I don't want to say I hate comps. His MLB comp is this, or like NFL draft combine, his comp is Megatron. Okay, but I don't know, poor man's Luis Arraez fantasy profile. If I'm wild for saying that, let me know down in the comments. I'd appreciate it from the home crowd. But that's kind of what you got here with Mydroff. going on. Very, like I said, solid fantasy profile. Let me know if that's nuts, or if I hit a foul ball on that. It would be nice to see him hit with a little bit of power. That's for sure. He is taking some walks though, so a lot of strikeouts, not too bad. He's still taking his walks. Now we're going to move on to the other Montgomery. We did Colson Montgomery. Now we have Braden Montgomery here. Oh, we had a nice little TikTok post and a YouTube short here about his walk-off home run. So thanks so much for all the love we continue to receive from that. That was actually a good night and a fun day of discussion. Braden Montgomery, he's played in 14 games so far this year. If you can remember back when he debuted not too long ago, like I was just saying, he became one of the few people, I think one of 5 people to hit a walk-off home run in their major league debut. I think was the last one Miguel Cabrera. The last one might have been Miguel Cabrera. It doesn't get much better than that. Love to see it. We got a lot of love on the short piece we did on his walk-off. It was a great day of discussion. Braden Montgomery, slash line 250-302-479. Ooh, okay. We might have something here. That slugging percentage is talking to me a little bit. I like that a lot. He's got a pair of home runs so far. Oddly enough, his second one, the most recent one, that was just last night. So perfect time. White Sox off today. Braden Montgomery's second home run was last night after the first one being on his debut just a couple of weeks ago, actually. So already flashing the power for the other Montgomery here. Man, they're going to have a couple of nice Montgomerys. I think, honestly, both of these guys, these are 230 home run guys. I'm telling you that right now. You didn't hear it here first, but you definitely heard it here again, and with conviction. Let me give that my sign of approval of those Montgomerys are going to be they're going to be crushing it on the Southside for quite a while. Like I said, we've got something here with this slugging percentage. He just went yard last night, did Braden Montgomery after the debut a couple weeks ago. 781 OPS, that's a little above league average. He actually had back-to-back games earlier this week with multiple hits. So he's starting to collect, like zeroing in, not just like a one-off guy. Like if he gets his hit, you know he's going to get back in there and try to get another one. He's locked in the whole game. 4 of his last 6 hits have either been a double or a home run. So there's your slugging percentage right there. Love this for a dynasty points league. Oh my goodness. If he can just avoid striking out a ton, this is a guy that you want to hold on to for dear life and is going to demand a king's ransom. But guess what? Right now, for me, he's not going anywhere. Braden Montgomery, crushing it right now. I think he plays mostly right field. I don't know if they're starting him too often against righties just yet, but like I said, he's only been up for a couple of weeks and he's already crushing doubles and home runs. He's all about it. This kid is dangerous. He's going to be very dangerous, and you do not want to leave one up in the zone against him because you will be asking for a new baseball. Let's move on to catcher now, one of the most important positions, as we have Kyle Teel, just 24 years old, is the fellow Jersey boy. 24 years old only, sensing a theme here. As Kyle Teel, 24 years old, actually just coming back from an injury, just activated off the IL a couple days ago. He was a big prospect coming up, and still a rookie, honestly. This is his second season. He's only played in 80 major league games, as a matter of fact. So only a half a season of regular season games played for catcher Kyle Teel for the White Sox. But he's going to be as advertised and possibly more. So last year, slashing 273, 375, 476 with 8 home runs. This guy's excellent. In about half a season as a rookie, give me that for my catcher 8 days a week. Are you kidding me? Say less. Very promising career up for the Jersey boy. Not off to a terrible start in just his first 2 games this year, honestly. Like, I don't want to make mountains out of molehills here, but 2 games this year already, a hit, a walk, and a hit by pitch, and a run scored his first 9 plate appearances. So look at that. Not even back from injury, not even half a week yet. He's already been on base 3 times and scored a run. To me, Teal is for real. Lock it in. For real, by the way, really want to show you what they're building with, to highlight what they're building. Munetaka Murakami is 26 years old, and he is the oldest person we've talked about so far. I think the only other person, we're going to have maybe one person that's 26, and everybody in this video is 26, and the bulk of them are 23 and 24 years old. So a lot of promise and a lot of potential building up kind of out of nowhere for these Chicago White Sox. Remember, they lost like 114? I think it was 119 games in 2024. Man. I'll almost trying to erase the old Mets team from history, please. Oh man! All right, getting back to it a little bit. That was Kyle Teal, catcher, oldest person we talked about. Munetaka Murakami, 26 years old. So show you how young and what sort of a nucleus we're getting, and it's exactly what we want to do for our fantasy teams and our dynasty leagues. We want a nice plan long term, but people that know how to hit can get you points now. We're going to move on to a couple of pitchers now. Actually, a couple that they've been missing, so we're not really getting the full juice out of the squeeze of this video. Hopefully, these guys come back. We'll touch base on them again. Pardon the pun on that, on some of these guys. But we're going to move to a couple pitchers now. They've actually been missing rookie Noah Schultz since May 24th, so kind of around the time they lost Murakami. They're hoping for a long-term anchor, rotation anchor in him, possibly be front end. He's a rookie, 22 years old, 6'10" lefty. Man, remind you of somebody? That could be a dangerous weapon on the mound. He's I would say he's not quite nowhere near adjusted to the majors yet. I don't mean that as an insult, but it'll probably take him quite a bit to settle back in when he does get back, because he was kind of like just getting his feet wet and then he went down. So you kind of hope like his confidence didn't take a hit. That can always be an issue. These are human beings at the end of the day. As we like to say, keep it positive, keep it professional. Let's go. He did have 8 starts this year. He had an ERA above 5 and a whip above 1.3. That is not good. I wouldn't say it's concerning, like I said, because he could have had like a lingering problem that was discovered a little late. These guys don't want to get taken out of games, that's for sure. They're trying to make a living out there doing the hardest thing, one of the hardest things in sports. So they're going to be looking to get the 6'10", 22-year-old lefty back as soon as possible. I'm not going to hold the ERA above 5 against him, and not everybody's going to mow down the lineup. Again, he's still in his first major league season, especially with now much more development early on these hitters are getting, and the scouting reports these major league these hitters are getting, forget about it. But I think he's going to be settling nicely in the long term. One good story for them this year in the rotation is Sean Burke, who's been one of the best fantasy surprises this year. As a matter of fact, he's been real good. 26-year-old right-hander, pretty big kid himself at 6'6", 240. Wow. It's a 3rd season in the majors, although really his 2nd full season. He only appeared in like 4 games as a rookie. Very bumpy road for him last year. Trouble getting deeper into games, but there was a lot of good profile showing. As he did learn to get his strikeout rate up a little bit. And once he started getting a bit deeper into games, past like 5 in the 3rd inning, he was settling down quite a bit. They actually kind of like help him a little bit this year. They put an opener in front of him to kind of like help with his stamina, and I guess with his preparation. But he's had some control issues his entire career, and that's definitely gotten a little better. He's going to give up some hits, but he gives up 2 hits in an inning and he strikes out the side or 2 of the next 3 guys after, or struck out a guy before then, I think he'll be just fine limiting the ducks on the pond. Like I said, he showed good promise last year, and he's improved in just about every aspect this year. So I think that's starting to be a name that you can officially trust almost week to week. I'm not going to say quite yet, but he got a strikeout rate up. Not a big name, not a big name on anybody's fantasy radar, but for those dynasty leagues that we're in and that we like to talk about mostly here, we'd like to focus on, he's definitely worth a keeper spot to me. That I will definitely stand by. 12 games started this year. He's worked behind an opener a few times, so that's went really well for him. He's got a 3.71 ERA and 87 strikeouts and just about as many innings. I like that. Matter of fact, his last 2 starts, listen to this, he's went 6 1/3 and 7 1/3 with only 1 earned run allowed in each start, and each of those runs was a solo shot. So basically, his last 15 or so innings pitched, maybe 15 2/3 innings pitched, he's only given up 2 earned runs, and there were solo shots. So he's limiting the damage. He did give up a lot of home runs last year, but if he could just limit those to solo shots and turn down the walks and not give up 2 a game, then I think he's going to be just fine, possibly even better down the road. I think he's just getting started. One of my dark horse all-star team candidates for next year, Sean Burke. That you did hear first. But he will be, I think he will be, does have the potential, and he will be a solid mid-rotation, possibly number 3 guy, not just for the White Sox, but for any fantasy manager, myself included, willing to give Sean Burke a chance. I'm glad that I have so far. So we did Noah Schultz, Sean Smith. We're going to finish up the Major League pitchers now with Shane Smith. There's going to be another Smith, actually, so stay with us. Who, unfortunately, Shane Smith is out with a shoulder injury right now. Another pitcher out as well. 26 years old, so let's get him back quick and let's get his juices flowing for the rest of his career. Only his 2nd season, but we do have an all-star. He made the all-star team as a rookie last year. When pitchers do that, I love it. I'm a huge fan of that. That is excellent. This isn't Road to the Show. This guy did this for real. Huh, for real? Yeah. I think he fits right in with this video. 3.81 ERA last year, 149 strikeouts and 25 starts. He got really roughed up in one of his only starts this year, and then he exited the next one early with the shoulder injury. So we'll credit some of the rough goings to the injury, not making any excuses. But like I say, we're not going to promise everybody's going to be great every time that we talk about him here. We're going to give it to you raw and uncut. Promise you that. Sean Burke, Noah Schultz, and Shane Smith, couple of guys that we in the rotation for the White Sox. We just have to get them all back healthy. Like I said, but for right now, Shane Smith, 26 years old, made the All-Star team as a rookie. Let's see what happens when he gets back healthy with joining Sean Burke, and if Noah Schultz can join them as well. That would be 3 very nice rotation pieces for the White Sox, hopefully later this year, and hopefully really starting all of next year. I think that's going to be something that hitters do not have circled on their calendar at this time next year. 26 years old, all-star pitcher though? I like Shane Smith. 3 nice pieces. All right. Well, I think that could coincide very nicely with, what was it, those young hitters we talked about earlier. I think it was at least 5 or 6 of them that we covered. 2 prospects in the organization now, so those are the major league hitters and pitchers we like in our organization. Outlook for the Shy Sox, the Southsiders as they're called by some people. And now we're going to give you 2 prospects, 1 pitcher, 1 hitter from the organization that, honestly, they're both going to be joining these guys within 2 years. So I think it's perfect right now. Let's get into it. We're going to start with Caleb Bonner with the major, not with the Major League Club just yet. But it should be noted that their last two top prospects that we've talked about already, Noah Schultz and Braden Montgomery, they're with the club now. So these are their next two top prospects. We're starting with the top prospect in the organization now. It's Caleb Bonmer in Double-A Birmingham for the Double-A Birmingham Barons this year. Shout out Michael Jordan. Bomber's 20 years old only, 6'1", 195, so getting into a very nice build. His batting average hasn't quite caught up with how good it was last year, but that's normal in this stage of the game for players, literally. It's nothing concerning at all. Strikeout rate does need to come down a bit, I'd say. That's a tiny concern. On the concern meter, it's like, I don't know, 4 out of 10. So not like too terrible. It's tough rating things rating things like that out of 10. Strikeout rate does need to come down a bit. But he does have the power to back it up. In 61 games for high A earlier this year, he hit 18 home runs. So he's not up there swinging and missing hopelessly. 45 walks and 10 stolen bases. This matters. I think that matters a lot for if this translates to our dynasty league. This is points. These are precious points. A home run and a stolen base in a game, that guy's got you close to 8.5 to 10 points, depending on what else he does. So you get that a few times a week from a guy. That helps us achieve our goal of helping you win your fantasy matchups by 100 points, baby. That's all that we want for you. I like Caleb Bonmer a lot. Proud to say I do have him in a dynasty league. In 107 games total last year in low and high A, he had 108 hits in 107 games. So there is contact there. That's not going to go away. At 12 home runs in that span, I think the hype is real. So before we get to our last one, just, 18 home runs in 61 games last year for Caleb Bonmer, 45 walks. That's great. Since being promoted to Double-A, 7 hits in 8 games. The strikeouts need to come down. He does have 8 walks in that span, but 10 strikeouts. So we'll take the good with the bad. But he's going to, if he does strike out a bit, he's also going to walk a lot, and he is going to hit for power. And we definitely have something to dream on here with Caleb Bonmer. That's for sure. I do like the last year, 108 hits, 107 games, 12 home runs. So he was crushing the home runs and hitting pretty good last year too. He just needs to pick it up a little bit in the strikeout department, I'm telling you. All right, last but definitely not least, we're going to go with the top pitcher and the second overall prospect for the White Sox organization. It's Hagen Smith. So before we told you about Colson Montgomery and Braden Montgomery, we just told you about Shane Smith. Next up, Hagen Smith. Still with us? Great. I think I still am. We're crushing it right now. Hagen Smith starting the year in Triple-A Charlotte, 23 years old, 6'3" lefty, so he's not tiny either. Working on a very, very nasty, keep an eye on this coming up, very powerful fastball and slider combination. I like that a lot. Not a perfect start for him down in Charlotte, although we're not gonna sugarcoat anything here. We're gonna tell it like it is. He's 0-5 with the 4.6 ERA. He's walked 36 batters in 52 innings. Good thing he's getting that out of his system now. Like he's cutting his teeth down there. So like a bit of command issues while he figures out that, like I said, that power fastball slider combo. So you gotta take the good with the bad with that. What I do love is 77 strikeouts in those 52 innings. So he's going to be a strikeout machine, just like Sean Burke can be and Noah Schultz. So now I feel like with this kid, with Hagen Smith, that's the 4th starting pitcher that could be solid for the White Sox starting next year. And Sean Burke is going to be the oldest out of the 4, and he's only going to be just turning 27. The other guys are going to be 22 and 23 or maybe 24 years old at the most. Really building a rotation and a nucleus here are the Chicago White Sox. A 3.5 ERA in Double-A last year with 108 strikeouts and just above 75 innings. So the strikeouts thing is for real. This kid is going to be good. very possible ace potential here. So I'm looking at a very, very solid 1-2 and a good 1-2-3 punch for the White Sox down the road if all goes well. It looks like they're a little bit better at developing hitters at the moment, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. We'll see how they do here with Sean Smith and Noah Schultz. And they also have Hagen Smith, too, trying to come back. They'll have a very solid front four of their rotation with a few guys that can throw absolute gas. I'm sorry, they definitely can. I'm liking it a lot. It's going to start looking even better and better on paper, as a matter of fact. I think that was 5 hitters in the lineup. That could be there every day for them for quite some time. Don't forget Caleb Bonmer, shortstop. He could end up playing almost any position in the field. They're expecting him to be up in a couple of years, their top prospect. With Murakami, they'll have Antonacci, the 2 Montgomerys. Between those 3 guys, maybe over 100 home runs right there. Who knows? I really like what the White Sox are doing. Remember, they were one of the worst teams in history just 2 seasons ago, and even the farm system wasn't promising, so it wasn't a bleak outlook. What a turnaround. Honorable mention I like is a shortstop that they called up from AAA earlier this year. They've had for a while, Jacob Gonzalez. He's really found his power. Didn't get as much into him, but he's doing very good. Shortstop, also plays third base too for the White Sox. Jacob Gonzalez. Check him out. Far cry from losing 100 and almost 19 games 2 years ago. So we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us here to talk about this, our first ever organization outlook on Buzz in the Box. Let us know who you want to hear on the next one. Who knows how often we'll do these, and who knows how many there will be and might be for a limited time holding. But I really like what they're trying to build. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Please, on your way back to the clubhouse, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this and the channel with anybody you think might be interested in not just baseball or MLB. We cover all levels of the minor leagues and especially fantasy baseball, specializing in Dynasty Points Leagues. We definitely have you covered in that department. And trust me, we're going to stick with the grind. So we appreciate you doing that and liking everything and subscribing back to the club on your way back to the clubhouse, especially Dynasty Points Leagues. It is one of our specialties. We really appreciate all the love and support. It means more than you know. We have nothing to hide and everything to gain with you on our side. Thanks so much for being here with us on this, what is going to be a late Thursday afternoon. Let us know down in the comments, as always, down below, of course, any player or team you want to hear about in an upcoming video, whether it's fantasy related. We're getting to the All-Star break, so soon after that's going to be the trade deadline in our Dynasty League. So if you have anybody you're trying to move, you have a log jam on any position, you need some advice, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you out, and we'd love to bounce some ideas off of you and continue a discussion as well. We would love to hear from the home crowd. Let us know what organization outlook you want to do next and which team or which player or team you want to hear us talk about that we haven't yet. We cover not just injury news, not just fantasy, but regular MLB stuff. We're going to be officially going live for the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. It will be our first ever live, and hopefully that will be taking place in our new setup that we found. We're going to be moving into a new foxhole and a new dugout, new clubhouse soon, reporting to you live from a different hangar. I like to call it a foxhole. We're going to be even more prepared and even more set up, coming at you quicker and even better with some fantasy news, and especially what we like to focus on, some big prospect updates and call us and goings on in fantasy leagues, and also who is going to be hot on that waiver wire. Don't forget to check out our TikTok. The link to that is on our page in our bio. And also for our, stay tuned and check out our YouTube shorts throughout the week. We just highlighted Mookie Betts hitting career home run number 300, joining Matt Olson and George Springer just this year. So any milestones, anything crazy, any trades that happen, we're going to try to have our our finger on the pulse of that all year long. The Mets did just send starting pitcher David Peterson to the Cubs for a first base prospect, so a little bit more info on that coming up in one of our shorts most likely. Thank you so much again for joining us for Buzz in the Box. I'm Aldo Bizzario. Thanks again for this Organization Outlook deep dive on the White Sox. We'll be reporting back soon. Catch you next time.